Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Papses in the Spinroom. Just like every week, I'm joined by Paps over here. How are we doing?
Hello. We're doing fine, although today it's one of those blue Mondays.
Oh, why is it?
I have no idea. Something is in the air. First of all, I missed right now the event which I have been invited to, which I was bragging to be invited to, then put me on the list and I didn't go.
Oh, no.
And that was the second time in a row I didn't do it, even though the people who are hosting this event are absolutely the loveliest. But I couldn't. Technicalities, Papses, preparation of the most popular podcast on the internet.
Paps just take priority. What can we say? The people want to know what the headlines are. They need to know.
The people there will be blood on the streets if there were no pads. Tell them. Yeah. And I understand them. If I don't see Papses daily, I'm start shaking.
Yeah, same. I need to, at least a little real on TikTok. Exactly.
So I'm sorry. How is the puppy doing?
The puppy's doing well. What has Puppy been up to? Well, you were there too. We had a bit of an interesting night the other night.
No, yeah. We were doing some completely legal stuff because we were not gambling.
No, that's a sin. It's a sin, not even illegal. It's a sin.
We were just exchanging collection items.
Yeah. Chips, yes.
And
cards were involved.
Cars were involved, but that's not a crime.
It's not a crime to have cards and chips. And if we swap them around sometimes, it's
exactly. This is all It's like stamps or Pokemon cards.
So what time did we finish? Is that why you're so tired, or?
We finished at the right time.
The correct time.
That's where all the collection items found their new owners. But it was hell of a night where both Papses were involved in a kind of gathering which wasn't Papses related, which is rare.
It was, but we still discussed some politics. Maybe at the end of the podcast, if we have a little time, we can open a little bit debate about McDonald's. We can. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to wait for this discussion.
Yeah, and find out if ordering chips is a federal crime or not.
Well, other people have had sleepless nights in the world. Some people throughout the world. And let's go in it. Let's go deep into it and look at these headlines.
Let's crack on.
So we, as usual, we will start with the Trump section. Which I have entitled for this week, Haba Baba, the Epstein emails.
Right.
Then, still sticking a little bit to Trump, but towards his foreign affairs, we have Vili Vici, Venezuela.
Nice.
Thank you.
And he did it quick. I've seen him doing it. He did it literally in 10 minutes. All of them.
I was there just giggling to myself, right?
Yeah, gambling or not gambling, this guy stayed always sharp.
Then we have Zelensky's energy towards corruption. Yeah. And then just to borrow an old Tony Blair slogan, just changing it up a bit, we have tough on immigration, soft on crime.
That's very provocative. I think you're reading the Daily Mail too much.
No.
Or the Mirror.
Too many exclamation marks for me.
Yeah.
But let's start with Haba Baba and the Epstein emails. I'll start with the Washington Post that says that Epstein wrote that Trump knew of sexual abuse but didn't participate.
Sure. So the Trump did not perform sex act on Bill Clinton and insists Epstein's bravo. Well, so I have two conclusions here. So if you're Epstein bravo and you know how your bravo ended up, you're saying whatever gonna keep you alive one day. And also, I just want to say something. Is what Monica Lewinsky had to say about that? She also said that she had no sexual, connections? We haven't
sexual relations with that.
Yeah, with that man.
Well, maybe just Trump wanted to be part of that club of people who have not given Bill Clinton a blowjob. They have not given a blowjob.
There's not many people like that.
No, most people.
Wait, is that a reason why Hillary hates Trump that much?
Well, I think it's the reason why Trump hates Hillary, because he was jealous.
But you know what? Now it all makes sense, because there is also a thing of Clinton being had very good relationships, surprisingly good relationship with Boris Yeltsin, who was the president of Russia at that time, and everyone was saying that because his dad was alcoholic, he knew how to deal with alcoholics.
Oh,
But maybe it's just a cover up. Maybe everyone met on the island one day.
It was a big party. We haven't given even any context.
Oh yeah, we were just roasting.
So basically, what's happened is that the Epstein estate has released about 20,000 emails. Because obviously, even though the Epstein files don't exist, according to Trump, 20,000 emails exist. And part of these emails include this email from Epstein to Ghislaine, I believe, saying that Putin has a picture of Trump blowing Baba, which it's most likely Bill Clinton, which I believe is a thing to celebrate. We finally have an LGBT president.
Yeah, it's a strong thing. Obviously, without the proofs, it's too much. It's too crazy to say that it's confirmed and it's a fact. So please don't take it by mistake. We're not saying those are facts, but it's funny.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, and it's what is the most important is that allows us to remember that those files are still the prime accusation against Trump. You know, you can tell a lot of things about him. Most of them, they're opinions, but those are facts. And if they turn out to be real, then this is probably the bomb we're gonna kill him and everyone around it. My only problem with these facts is that, do we really have to go to something as crazy as this accusation to talk about those facts? And is it not making the society a little bit numb for a whole Epstein case? Because if you shock people with certain things, then you're not going to get their attention until you're going to shock them even more. And accusation like Donny T blowing Baba, which is fantastic. If you're saying something like that, then you as well, then what's next? What, he killed someone?
So, so there's one thing to note here. So, well, two things. First of all, Epstein does lie. So, this whole blowjob thing may not be true. However, there are other emails that do suggest that Epstein at some point these emails were like from 2019.
Yeah.
Did suggest that Epstein was hiding stuff to create a debt against Trump so that Trump owed him. But the other thing to note is that even though this should be the headline that the US government is reopened now, that means that this elected official that couldn't be certified because the government was shut down is allowed to be a representative. And that was the vote needed to release the Epstein files. Problem with that is because the Epstein files have a lot of names, all sorts of names. I think even like some prime minister of Finland is part of these files. That means that there's going to be so many people taking the blame of being pedophiles or going on the island, etc., that Trump might be fade in the back. So even though they're released, it might mean that he doesn't suffer any consequences because everyone's involved.
Well, but in my opinion, Trump has two sides, right? On one side, you are at the forefront when it comes to decisions and when it comes to taking the glory for won wars and everything what comes with it. But at the same time, I do not agree that he would be faded in the back. I think he would be the first figure to blame because he's the biggest in the room. And you cannot be the biggest in the room when it comes to glory and the smallest in the room when it comes to blaming. I think it would be a big problem. My only case is that Trump will not allow for that to be exposed. And about Trump involvement, we'll find out probably after his presidency is over. Realistically, I don't think he will allow for that to be shown to public. What do you think?
I think these files will be released following the vote next week. My only question is how redacted is it going to be? And also, given how much Trump has covered up these files, whether it was shutting down the government, to go that far, and together with so many other news that he's done, it might be something a bit deeper than just visiting the island. Some people even suggest that Trump and Epstein were sort of partners in the whole operation.
In the whole operation. Well, it's again, the topic is the headlines, and we're talking about it. My only thing is that, like, he was also saying that he's gonna uncover the old files about the assassination of JFK. Didn't happen at the end, and he didn't show off. He didn't uncover some small percentage, but well, we can guess that this is the crucial one. The question is, you say that it's gonna be shown next week. All of them, or just those where the island existed and there were parties, and really you cannot blame anyone for anything? Because
No. I mean, and that's it. I mean, I saw this joke that said, well, what if we release them and then there's like Democrats in the files, and then no one gonna show? Well, the joke is that the guillotine is bipartisan. Everyone can be off the chop.
Yeah.
But I think there's a big call to release, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. This is
Even if you're MAGA.
even if MAGA,
Yeah.
like Marjorie Taylor Greene, the most MAGA representative, she wants them out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, if Trump wants to take the glory, we know that he loves a glory hole.
Well, let's see what you're gonna do about it. But shall we talk about the second fact?
Yes, the Vidi Vici Venezuela. Sky News has a headline: most advanced U.S. aircraft carrier arrives close to Venezuela as Donald Trump administration builds up forces.
And Al Jazeera says U.S. boat strike kills 3 as aircraft carrier arrives near Venezuela.
So what's going on there? It's been hot, and we have been talking about it recently, but there have been some developments.
So this is a classic situation where there is a news which is building up. So we see Trump and Maduro conflict heating up. We can see the Peace Nobel Prize going to Venezuelan activist. And now she is speaking out loud. She's saying, if I'm going to have a support of Americans and they're going to stop the regime of Maduro and I will become the Venezuelan leader, I welcome Americans to drill the black gold, because as we know, Venezuela has the biggest resources of oil in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, Russia, etc., etc. The fuel is for free, by the way. Terrible quality, but still for free. So
Gas is gas.
gas is gas. And then the thing is that even Trump is saying very much straightforwardly, when he was asked one of the interviews if he's going to attack the Venezuela, he said, yes, probably.
We'll see.
I think so.
Yeah, that's probably the first time he had this idea when someone asked him about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, even though, I don't know, it's the argument I keep making. Like, Trump is meant to be an isolationist. Meant to be. And this seems a very interventionist kind of policy. Like, I think this is all part of this whole Epstein cover-up. Like, maybe by next week, Trump will have invaded Venezuela, so the vote won't pass to release the files.
Well, a lot of experts are also asking how is he going to do it? Because on one hand, you have 15,000 soldiers on the side, which is the closest to Venezuela. On the other hand, Venezuela, and even though they're not the best trained, even though they don't have the best equipment, it's 200,000 troops. So he's starting such a war. And also they have the Eagles, which are the Russian weapons against the flying aircraft. So Trump deciding to do something like that, he's playing a risky gamble, because then definitely American troops gonna die. And how he gonna explain it in front of the Americans? Because he cannot pretend that they started the war. Also, there is a problem because Trump is saying, it's because it's a drug problem, while Venezuela is responsible for maybe 10% of the whole cocaine which is going through US.
Fentanyl that Trump wants to tackle. And if there's much fentanyl in Venezuela.
And fentanyl is coming through Mexico mostly, and China, which he tackled the deal with the other week to limit it to the minimum. So it's really about having access to drill. Yeah. Just attacking countries under the argument that he wants to bring peace and fight the drug war. But how he gonna do it? I don't really know. They bombed some ships, as we know, as the conflict was heating up. But we have to know something. There were not drug lords on these boats trying to conquer America and bring tons of cocaine on the market. Those were fishermen who most likely were forced by Venezuelan gangs to work with them and being paid $500. So there is a bit of a problem with that, and I don't know how Trump going to tackle it.
Well, there's also even a technical problem with all this. This is where the politics geek come out. So if you want to declare war on a country, unless you're in a dictatorship, you're meant to pass a vote in both houses, because executive power does not have that much power in terms of foreign affairs. If you want to declare war, you need to have a vote, whether it's happened in Iran, in Iraq, whether it happened in Vietnam, whether it happened in Korea, etc. Problem is, okay, the government was shut down up to now. So if Trump wanted to declare war, he would have to write an official declaration of war. When Trump was asked about this, he says, "Nah, I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're just going to start killing people, just shoot them dead." Which will be a big problem for the Supreme Court, because that will then become an illegal war, as it kind of was after Iraq. But what happened after Iraq, after it was declared an illegal war? Nothing. They just kept fighting.
Yeah, and also, what, the bombarding of Iran, was that a war or not? Because also nothing happened. The only problem is, like, right now, Trump cannot do the same what they did with Iran, because it's a different geographical situation, and it would have to be full-scale war.
And much closer to home.
And
This would be troops on the ground.
And it's also, I just want to say that the Supreme Court right now, Supreme Court is also suing Trump for doing tariffs. Does it stop Trump from doing tariffs? I don't think
really.
They're actually, they're not the news anymore. They're the reality.
But I think in the general conception, like the voters, I think this would make a change. In the same way that Tony Blair went from the most popular prime minister of all time to incredibly low polls for Iraq. And, okay, Bush did get reelected, but I think it will have a big hit. I mean, we already saw what the results were in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York. But the Democrats were always going to win, but they weren't expecting to win by that much. So it's already having a dent in Trump's popularity. Start an illegal war, that's going to kill.
Well, I believe, it's true, but I believe when you're as controversial as Trump, you're always going to polarize people. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna start a war, he's gonna put the argument that this is to protect American people from drug plague. But then I don't think it's gonna be necessary. I think when he's gonna start the war and he's gonna win the war on the field, I think he's gonna start a mess in Venezuela, and local revolutionists gonna just, with his help, took over the country, because probably Maduro gonna try to run away. And I think that's probably the sequence of events. And just to finish it up, I just want to say as well, that doesn't matter if you're going to start the war, if at the end of the day, US will get significantly more oil because of that, no one from his voters will remember that he started the war. And also, handy and talented marketing people will dress it as he stopped the war on drugs, and he get us a new, almost unlimited resources of black gold. So,
I mean, and then we'll move on, because we need to talk about the next story. But like you say, no one will remember because of the oil prices. What do we remember about Iraq? We remember the illegal war, not how cheap diesel was.
Yeah, Iraq was going for 20 years. I think that can go for 2 weeks.
We'll see.
But we can say one thing: whatever he's doing, he's not really waiting for history to be written. He's just
doing it.
He's just doing it.
No need to write the declaration of war. We'll just start killing people. We'll just do it.
There is no point of reading, man. It's you can just get confused.
I mean, given how many emails he's read this week, that Trump read this week, I don't think he wants to read another declaration of war.
I think he's hitting his 80s. Like, cut himself slack. 5 emails a day, rest is one big signal.
Give it an audiobook. The audiobook version of a declaration of war.
And the speed too.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's move on to another war-torn country, but this time a hero is having a fall from grace. We have, let's start with political. Ukraine scrambles to limit damage from blockbuster corruption scandal.
And Times of Israel says Zelensky associate at crux of Ukrainian corruption case said to have fled to Israel. That's a big topic.
It is.
That's the biggest corruption scandal Ukraine ever had.
I'll start with a bit of context about Ukraine, and then you tell us what's been happening.
Please.
So Ukraine, as we know, or maybe we don't know, it hasn't been always the cleanest country in terms of clean pockets. I mean, a lot of corruption has happened there, whether it was puppets presidents, say that 5 times quickly, and a lot of corruption happened. And the reason why Zelensky ran and won was to clear the corruption in the country of Ukraine. Now, his agenda did get derailed a little bit after 1 year of office. You have one of the biggest superpowers in the world invading you. However, a few months ago, and we did discuss this, that we said it might be a little warning, a little amber flag, not necessarily a red flag, an amber flag, that he moved the independence of the anti-corruption agency back to the president's hands. And we said, well, Zelensky is a good guy. Like, it's fine if he has the corruption agency, but if the next one's corrupt, then everyone's corrupt. And this week something happened.
So this week, unfortunately, they find out that Zelensky and his closest associates, they are deeply, hold on a second. There is no proof that Zelensky is into it, but the fact that the people who he was spending his birthday and in his private time had a golden toilet, and where people are dying on the front line while they're missing hundreds of millions of dollars, which have been donated by the foreign countries to help the war. That gives us a little bit of a speculation. Same with Epstein. You don't know if he was in those files, but you know that he was hugging Epstein.
I mean, if Trump has told you something, just because you blow someone under the table at big parties with golden toilets doesn't mean you're corrupt. It hints at it, but it doesn't mean you're corrupt.
And it's also, I don't blame people for having golden toilets. I have 2 at home.
Look at you now.
But the problem is, how did you buy it? How did you get it? So the first guy who fled the country was a co-owner of and director of a show when Zelensky became famous and then became president because of that. The worrying thing is that he left the country an hours before it has been published. It means that someone warned him. The other guy who is not that close, because this guy is really a friend of Zelensky. The other guy is not that close, but he was also very close in the structures of Zelensky cabinet. And he also magically has been told about what might happen and left the country. The problem is that Zelensky, we have to kind of see the difference, because we see Zelensky sitting here or whatever you are watching Papses, but Zelensky, his reputation on the international scene and nationally are 2 different things. So internationally, he's appreciated and he's been congratulated for how he persistently and creatively staying afloat. But on the other hand, inside, people have a lot of problems with him. He tried to fix that problem by doing 2 things. First, he changed prime minister.
Yeah.
Then he wanted to bring what you refer to, the corruption office, into the hand of Attorney General, who is a puppet. Now, the problem is that there was such a big protest against him bringing the anti-corruption office to the Attorney General that he backed off, and he allowed this to work as it used to. The fact that right now this is uncovered what just happened means that probably they were already on the case and he just wanted to stop them. Speculations, but everyone everything really shows that this is the way. My question to you is, before I'm going to shut up, do you think that the fact that we know about this problem, about this affair, it's a positive or negative?
Well, that's it. I was gonna do like the not devil's advocate, because I was advocating for Zelensky here, just to give a bit of balance here, just because you use strong words like he's a puppet of Zelensky.
Those are the facts.
They're very close colleagues, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Because this story kind of reminds me of when they changed the commissioner of the Met. If we remember, there was a report of the Met saying that the police was ultra corrupt, blah, 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 blah. But the commissioner said, yeah, because I'm cleaning up, I'm putting to light all these stories of corruption and disgrace. So isn't this the fact that this has emerged, the fact that maybe having taken away the independence of the corruption agency are positive because we know about it? It's better to know about it than to not. And maybe the only allowance that Zelensky gave to his buddy that went to Israel was like, listen, I need to let this out. I'll give you 1 day notice. Fuck off. And then it's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very important to understand is that the fact that we know about it doesn't mean that corruption in Ukraine was bigger than ever. It might be quite opposite. It might be that right now it's a signal for everyone that the time of oligarch, wild, wild west in Ukraine has ended. And you can, have serious consequences of your actions. The question is really what Zelensky going to do right now? Because Zelensky has a problem because he needs to really punish his own pals for doing it. And it's not only about a sentimental value, it's also about what they know about him being involved in it. So that's a very, very interesting case. He also going to have problem with getting anyone from Israel. And also other countries going to have a problem with giving him more money. Because now it's like in your face that the money is being diluted before it even reaches its target.
Just because I'm posing as the defender of Zelensky.
Yeah.
But isn't the fact that it's a message, a signal that he's in safe hands? Because if he says to the world, not even my friends are safe from being exposed to corruption, doesn't that mean that like, oh, my hands are clean because I even got rid of my friends?
I don't know. As you know, I was the one who was defending him when he wanted to bring it to the Attorney General, because I was thinking, maybe he's right. Maybe it really has to be clean from the Russian influence. But right now, I have a certain doubts to answer to what you said. I just don't think he has a choice. I think the only thing he can do to remain in his role is to be saying, yes, of course, I'm strongly against it. And kind of played by the ear what you're going to do, because the investigation is going to be stronger and stronger. And we will see, it might be the case that in the next Papses, which I know that you're already waiting for, we're going to have 5 new pictures and 7 new emails from this case, which completely going to flip it inside out.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, who knows? Maybe Zelensky blew Gorbachev. Who knows?
You never know. The age is a bit weird. I don't know if
hey, necrophilia is still a thing.
And it's also if the Epstein Island was having those kind of secrets, then Russian version. It's that's yeah.
But well done. I think we had a wonderful discussion with 2 opposing views without throwing pints at each other. Well done. This soberness is really working. Well done. The soberness.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's see how it's gonna progress. But it's definitely one of the biggest shakeups in
Ukrainian home politics.
Exactly, and especially since Zelensky, who is a president already for 7 years, while 3.5 during the war. Let's see. The last one.
Moving on. Tough on immigration, soft on crime. Now, I really wanted to focus on immigration. However, as we are recording this episode, we have the Home Secretary currently in the comments responding to questions about this. So we kind of split it a little bit. So first of all, we have David Lammy under pressure as 2 more prisoners mistakenly freed. This is from the BBC.
Yeah, and the panel says Shabana Mahmoud to wrap up deportations by overriding ECHR and fresh immigration crackdown.
So just a David Lammy story very quickly. It is about, did we mention it? That we had 2 pedophiles that were released mistakenly.
Oh yeah, because the Met Police, they didn't know.
Yeah,
They mixed up the names, mixed up the time. Someone went to lunch. Someone forgot his apple from his backpack. Didn't mend the
like, it happens.
Yeah, and the prisoner completely randomly, he just thought that this is the door to the toilet, but he ended up being on the street.
Oh no, I'm outside. Yeah, apparently those were not the only incidents. There were many more. Some people even suggest 40 prisoners were released by mistake since April.
And you know what? And this note, I just want to say that right now, when I'm hearing something like this, I'm considering committing a little crime, being put in a clink for winter because it's cold, free food, free electricity, gym, a lot of books. And then if you feel like going, you're just going to say, hey, it's me now. And they're like, really? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, okay.
There was one of them was like the video was hilarious because this guy, it was only free, like he only escaped for one day. He was released by mistake for one day. And all he did was to go to his girlfriend's house, stay the night, and then he was rearrested the next day. The one thing he did ask is like, oh, can I just go out for a fag before you put me back in? He said, yeah, sure. And it's him just smiling. I guess he had a bit of a conjugal visit to his girlfriend, just smiling, having a cigarette, like, and then he went back in.
It's funny how they said, yeah, sure, go.
Just, what the least we could do.
Yeah. And by the way, we're coming back to McDonald's.
But the Home Secretary stuff, this is what's been happening today. So these are the big changes in the immigration policy. We have been promised new policies due to a new Home Secretary coming in. Originally was Yvette Cooper, but then we had a little reshuffle, and then Shabana Mahmood is in charge, was much tougher on immigration. So they say,
how have we talking?
Oh, like Popeye tough.
Like loads of spinach cans.
Yeah. Like Mr. Like that kind of tough. Mr. Muscle stuff. And given what's been announced, and I'm just checking live as we go, it does seem that there is an introduction of a new interpretation of the ECHR. That's a lot of difficult words.
Please elaborate on ECHR for everyone who doesn't know.
So the ECHR is the European Human Rights or Regulation. I got it.
Not really, because it's EC, not human. But anyway, yes.
European Convention of Human Rights. There we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Well done.
So basically, this was a big thing back last year when the Tories were in charge, because the Tories wanted to come out of the ECHR so they could send people to Rwanda. And Labour said, no, that's a stupid ass idea. We're staying in the ECHR and we're not sending anyone to Rwanda. Today, though, the new interpretation is that, the interpretation and the policy is that now families are going to be kicked out, not only the person requesting asylum, because before the person requesting asylum could bring his family, the family could stay, but if it didn't go through, the guy would be sent back. Now people will wait 20 years, I believe, from asylum seeking to citizenship. Way more than the previous 5 years, I believe. But the interpretation here is that Surana Mahmoud said, we're not going to send anyone home that is at risk of torture. And torture and something else. Which is technically okay under the ECHR. However, part of the ECHR says that people should not be sort of degraded or anything like that. The interpretation here that Shabana Mahmoud is introducing is, sure, as long as you're not tortured, we're going to send you back. But even if kind of like you go there and you're not safe, it's not to be you.
Right.
Even though you might be killed to the street, but not tortured, you're still going to go back.
Yeah, but this is very hard to measure in the sense like, which country is in a war zone and which country is not.
Well, it's like an example here would be like, I don't know, a country where like a gay person from a country where gayness is illegal, but not by death penalty, then they would probably be sent back.
Right. It's a war zone because of the civil war, but no tortures. Is that you're coming back then?
I don't know. I feel like war. I guess that's technically unsafe. But like, I don't know. Is Lebanon? Yeah, Lebanon. I guess those would be sent back to Lebanon. It's close to Israel, but there's no war at the moment.
So basically, they're discussing this as we speak. Do you think that we can call it a little Brexit?
Nah. The Labour Party will be up norms if it's a little Brexit.
Yeah, this is tightening the immigration law. So maybe that's going to change lives of many immigrants coming to UK. So it is another layer on the border to be closed.
Technically, yes. I think this is more of an appeal to reform again, which, as I've been saying on this podcast for the past year and a half, Labour Party needs to stop appealing to reform voters and more to Labour Party voters. This is more Keir becoming Farage. Keir wanting a pint with the lads.
Here wants a pint with his cat, and I think they're just trying to be a box of chocolate. They just want to be liked by everyone.
No. And yet no one likes them.
No one likes them because the only chocolate which is liked by people is the vegan chocolate. That's why. They're definitely not the vegan chocolate. So as we can see, as we speak, we have a live update on this case, and we're going to be updating you on our socials and next week with Papses, as by that time it's going to be definitely agreed and sorted.
Yeah. Immigration sorted. Done. Finished.
I like how you can just have during one sitting just decide.
It's done. But yeah, so well done. Well done, Siobhan.
Exactly.
Sorted.
I'm curious if they're going to do like a different list of what tortures are okay and what not.
Well, by the sounds of it, just reading the headline, we're gonna publish a list of safe countries, which obviously will change from the existing one.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting turn of events. As to finish, as we promised at the beginning, we want you to let us know, how do you feel about ordering McDonald's?
Is it worth leaving a party for, as McDonald's sponsors the IDF?
Yeah, and also, and I'm not even touching the vegan side, that all of us should be ashamed because unless we're ordering McPlant.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. No, the IDF doesn't like McPlant. So I guess those are a bit more.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to Papses. Thank you for interacting with Papses on socials. And Pappy, thank you for your voice today.
Well, thank you, Paps. Thank you for having a very reasonable debate.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, even though we agreed, we remained calm. So well done, Paps. And thank you everyone for listening.
And see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.